It's a Super StarCraft Bros!
Diamond Friday.
Woohoo! We got it right finally!
Yeah.
Happy Friday, Iron Sparks.
Happy Friday, Jay.
Yep. Diamond.
Friday.
Love diamonds.
They're alright.
They're expensive as hell.
I found a bunch of them yesterday.
I know! We're playing Minecraft.
And I found a lot.
Yep. We also found lava.
You found lava.
Nothing makes you scream more than digital lava.
Yeah, actually, I bet real lava would make you scream more.
No, because you pretty much know where that lava is going to be.
You never know, because if you're digging it, it's like...
If I ever start digging and lava pops out, I'm leaving that geographical location forever.
Alright, start
Because I can't dig that deep.
You never know.
Alright! Diamond Friday.
Yep.
So in the red corner we have...
Semtex.
Alright.
Not to be confused with Semtex.
Representing the Terran race. And up in the north corner we have...
Epyon.
Epyon? Epyon?
Do you remember how they pronounce it?
I think it's Epyon.
Yeah. He's from,
Which we think is from Gundam Wing Endless Waltz.
Yeah.
Which I love that series and I love that movie from Gundam. I used to watch it all the time. I think it was the last cartoon that would play in the Toonami block on Cartoon Network.
Was Epyon Tal'darim or something? Or
Ah.
are those different Gundams?
No, well... No, Tal'darim was a different one. Epyon, I believe, was the all-white one with a little bit of blue on it.
Wasn't Tal'darim like the
Tal'darim was the...
guy?
Was it? Or was it the desert one? I thought the Tal'darim was the desert one.
Tal'darim was the enemy guy. I know that. From, I used to play the Gundam RPGs on StarCraft 1.
Alright. Well, we'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
But seriously, Endless Waltz, I love that. I should buy that on DVD.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's see. Epyon is moving in, doing some scouting, and he's also throwing down his own expansion back at his base.
Which is pretty safe because it is quite a big map.
Ooh! Those SCVs said, hell no, you are not scouting out our base. Get out before I call the popos.
I'm sure that's exactly what they said.
Actually, no, they pulled out their home security shotguns and then fired.
They don't have shotguns.
I could see an SCV driver having a shotgun.
No, he has a drill. And a claw.
But he has a cockpit, and he probably has a shotgun in it.
Alright.
Remember, these are like the roughneck, redneck, tough people.
Then why'd they just get SCVs?
What?
If they're these tough people, why are they SCVs?
Because they're good at their job. I mean, that's like driving a super floating, rocket-powered forklift.
Okay.
You have to be a tough person to drive that. Alright, Cybercore is going down now for Epyon.
Kind of curious that he didn't put down that forge to get that fast expand.
Definitely is. He's definitely banking on no cheese from Terran player, anything like that. It's going to be interesting what Semtex does, seeing that there is no cannon or any type of defense down at the bottom of the ramp.
Well, I think he will be alright for a while because Semtex did just drop down his own expand. He is getting that bunker up, so both of them are going for a more macro-based game.
Which is always nice to see. It's I don't know. I like watching cheese every now and then, but it is nice to see the game played out in full. It kind of feels like it goes from that BM, bad manners type of game into more of the gentleman StarCraft, where everyone plays like a sir.
I don't know. Like,
but they didn't say good luck or have fun, did they?
Yes, they did.
Okay, good. I'm not paying attention to that part, am I?
Nope.
Oh well.
You know, late game can be interesting. I think it's kind of hard for Terran late game.
The more you let, I know from sparring with you, the more you let a Protoss army build up, and that death ball gets bigger, and their upgrades start kicking in. Pretty much any build from the Terran player, if you go that mass bio ball, or if you go supportive tanks and medvacs, it just gets annihilated from the Protoss death ball. We get it. You understand how to use the camera now. Alright, so we have an early... That building that I always want to call the
Twilight
Temple
Cancel.
of Adun. But the Twilight Cancel is going down, so we might see...
Twilight Cancel.
Do you think we're going to see DTs?
No.
Fine.
Probably gonna be some quick blink research or maybe even charge coming out.
Charge? Well, either or. Blink or Charge, I think for Protoss is a great choice either way, because they're both awesome upgrades.
You know, I think we're gonna start seeing charge more often now, because I think Protoss players are starting to step away from heavy stalker builds.
It is odd. I mean, the heavy stalker build is good against light units. If you are going against a lot of Marines, something like that, stalker's a little better. I think they have a little larger range. And then if you can blink away from a Marine, it's a lot easier to micro. They're great against Muta. And I don't know, but the Zealots, they take more damage. They're the tanks of the Protoss army.
Yeah, I was actually reading the forums earlier today, and there was a thread about this. More of the pros that are making it farther in like tournament style play are getting less stalkers and getting more zealots.
It frees up a lot of gas to use for your Colossus, your High Templar, even your DTs.
It gets those units that you really need out on the field. You can get more of them, and if you just get like 8 to 12 stalkers, that's enough to deal with anything that can counter those very important units.
Yeah, and the only time you probably see mass stalker anymore is if you are going Colossus and you need to take care of a large amount of Corruptors or even Mutas. I think with Heart of the Swarm, even though there isn't that much dynamic unit additions to Heart of the Swarm,
yeah, because Protoss units suck.
I think just because of the units being added to both Terran and Zerg, we'll see probably a little bit more creativity on the Protoss end.
Well, because we have to.
Because they're going to have to answer the changes.
We do have that Templar Archives going down, as well as Charge being upgraded.
Stim is about to finish for Semtex. Weapons +1 for our Terran player is about half finished, and we do have Medvacs on the field now. That Observer is getting a great look at Semtex's base. He just flew past the mostly, or pretty much all Marine army. Let's see, I believe that factory is floating away to do some scouting work on its own.
And we do have an Immortal coming out, as well as Stim starting to be upgraded, and we're about to get that Forge just about finished.
Stim's finished.
Okay.
Battle shields.
Combat shields.
Combat shields. Combat, battle, same thing. Combat net doesn't sound as good as battle net, but still. Alright, so a very small army. It's going to be interesting if Epyon just kind of goes with this High Templar build, which if we only have Marines,
it'll do wonderful, especially since he could also feed back those medvacs.
Absolutely, it's gonna be devastating. We finally have a missile turret going down at the entrance. Oh, I hate to see a supply drop.
It doesn't look as cool anymore. All right.
Nope.
So we do have that armor up. I guess he thought that Observer was still there, although he did get that missile turret up. He is moving out.
He is throwing down 4 additional barracks, so he's going to be able to replenish this army when it gets knocked out. Is Storm finished?
Yes, it is.
Alright, so this is going to be a very painful attack.
And these High Templar do have enough energy to get those down.
Alright, so let's see. The Observer is kind of following the army in, so Epyon's going to see exactly when the attack commences. We have the medvacs in the front. I hear load. Is he loading them up? No. Alright, he does do a scan. He gets rid of the Observer. Marine Stim. They're moving up. Oh, ow.
However, he did walk his own High Templar into that storm, so it did take quite a bit of damage. However, it was pretty good. However, these Stalkers are ready for these medvacs.
Yep, they were going to try and do a drop into the main, though if he does drop them now, or not, I think if he had dropped every Marine in there, he would have been able to wipe out all those Stalkers and maybe pick out a pylon, or maybe even the Robo Bay. But he did force all the troops to go into almost all the troops to go into the base. It'll be interesting what decision Semtex does make to counter out the High Templar. He does have Ghost Academy on the way,
which is an excellent counter.
He'll be able to either snipe the High Templar, which snipe is pretty much only useful as an anti-High Templar ability now.
Or he can get that EMP out, since EMP does outrange Storm.
It does. It's a little tricky though. I mean, those High Templars aren't sitting on full energy, but depending on how long Semtex does wait, it's going to take a couple EMPs to even be more effective on the High Templar.
And all he has to do is get one, and they won't be able to storm.
I'd say snipe on them, but let's see. We have the Mobius reactor, I believe is what it's called.
Yep.
For the Ghost, so they're going to start out, or actually they're going to have a little bit more energy on them. We're finally getting some Marauders mixed in, which is kind of shocking. You probably would have expected those early on.
Maybe. Yeah, they could be helpful. However, now we do have that Robo Bay coming down, so we'll start seeing those Colossus as well as Blink to deal with the most likely incoming Vikings once
the Colossus are spotted.
Once they're revealed.
It is typical, especially with Terran. If they do have the medvacs, they're sitting with the starport with reactor. I was just thinking that Colossus is a very good tech switch for Semtex. If he uses a combination of the High Templar, maybe even changing those into Archons so they can do that splash damage.
Yeah, I think it's good to use a Storm first. That way you get that splash damage done, and then if you have time, switch them into Archons. And especially with the addition of the Colossus, if you just get all that splash, take out all this bile, you're pretty much good.
And it does look like Semtex is going heavy medvac, which is great because the more medvacs you have, the more stims you can do, which means the more damage you can do. Hopefully we see some type of maneuvering of the army where the Marauders are going to be at the front so they can soak up a lot more of that damage from not only Colossus but also the High Templar.
What I would like to see Semtex do when he goes to attack, maybe split off a little bit so he can get behind, maybe to cut off those Colossus that are in the back.
That is the trick with any type of play, breaking up your units. It is very hard. It usually requires having separate sections of your army on hotkeys. It takes a lot of APM to do it effectively.
But right now, that's the answer to, especially those storms going down, probably the Colossus.
I know, but most people don't have computers that are that advanced. I want to split this! No! What do you mean, no? Let me do it! You don't have the graphic card for this. Okay. Alright, so it looks like the Terran army has swelled in size, and it's heading up to the blue base. It's kind of interesting. It does look like our Terran player is expanding behind this counter attack.
I really like...
Not really a counter. It's been a little while for it to be a counter.
Yeah.
But kind of odd that the Protoss player hasn't switched over to, especially because he is going heavy tech.
It looks like he is going to go try to break down these rocks, perhaps. Try to check, maybe wipe out this potential third that could be up.
That was the most non-committal sentence I've ever heard. Alright, so it looks like the army is working on those rocks, but it looks like the Protoss Death Ball is going to be able to flank them if they catch sight of this. It looks like Semtex might have thrown down a scan to confuse the Protoss player. He stims, moves up. Let's watch them take down that Nexus. Nexus does fall. Let's see. The ghosts are getting wiped away by the Colossus.
And they were feedback. However, they did get some EMPs off because some of these High Templar have no energy or shields. There's just
that whole.
Ooh. He kills one of those medvacs with feedbacks.
But a lot of those medvacs do have a lot of energy, so if they can get back to the base, they're going to be able to heal up all of them. The Zealot legs are starting to take a play, and they're slicing off any of the slow-moving... Why is there an SCV in there?
Why not?
He wanted to use his shotgun. I got a shotgun, I can do this! Alright, reinforcements have arrived for Semtex. They're trying to battle this Protoss Death Ball.
Let's see, Semtex is getting those EMPs off.
He's getting them off,
but on the High Templar.
He's not able to get any additional damage once the EMPs go off. This small platoon is going to try and stall the army a little bit.
Just a bad rally point on those Vikings. One of them gets taken out before he can do anything, and others doesn't even get a chance to do
Those Colossus were shooting their lasers through the ground into the building on the high ground. That was very strange. Let's see, that wall of supply depots is knocked down. It looks like Epyon is going to knock out all these supply depots. That's going to supply block Semtex. He's not going to be able to make anything to fight this. It looks like Epyon is going to win. We get the GG out of Semtex, and he leaves the game. That was a good game.
Yeah, it was.
Kudos to both Epyon and Semtex. It's just, that is kind of the thing. I don't know the answer for what it is for if you get into TvP mid game and you're Terran. I don't know what the answer is. I kind of just don't let the Protoss get to the mid game.
I think Terrans might need to go more factory units.
And it is, and we're probably going to see a little bit more balance in the TvP game when it comes to mid game because you do have all those factory additions. Mm-hmm. I can see the Battle Hellions and the Warhounds.
Yeah.
Being much more effective. You can have the Warhounds that can counteract the Immortals, and those Battle Hellions are going to be able to soak up and dish out a lot of damage to Zealots.
And especially since all these higher tier Protoss units are good against those bio units, which is what Terran depends on, tier 1.
And not only do they have good amount of damage, but they do splash as well, and the Terran Bio Ball is only effective if it's kind of together.
Yeah, so once Terran starts switching over to factory units, it might be a goodbye to the
Well, I think
ball.
it'll be an interesting game, and I think Blizzard does want to get kind of away from that Death Ball with Protoss, but we'll see. Any idea when Heart of the Swarm Beta comes out?
Nope. Probably soon.
End of the summer, I'd guess.
Give or take.
All right. So, if you like the game, or if you have any advice on Terran versus Protoss mid-game, leave a comment down below.
Hit that like button.
Share it with your friends. You can subscribe again, too.
Yeah, whatever that
You only really need
is.
to do it once. But if you want to subscribe, unsubscribe, then subscribe again, just so you can stumble over your S's, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So, good luck and have fun on your future StarCraft endeavors, and have a great weekend.
GG.
GG.